Okay, so with headset mics, it's always a trouble to get enough gain before feedback. Waves has a great tool called PSE that helps us out here.
Yeah. So that stands for primary source expander. So what it's doing is basically just giving us an expansion tool to give us, like you said, more gain before feedback. So we've already wrung out our microphone, we've EQ'd it, we've used X feedback to get rid of some of the drastic feedback problems. We've got our EQ, but sometimes you still want to have a little more headroom before any potential feedback might start to take off. So let's just bring up our headset mic in the room again and just listen to it. So here's our headset mic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it sounds really good, but as a way to sort of not really gate it, but just make sure that everything is closed off in the space between sentences or between talking. That's really when feedback is going to want to be audible, is in the silences. So this really helps us. So there's a couple of functions. It's real simple. It's really just a threshold and a range. So why don't you explain kind of how they work?
Yeah, so the threshold is what you would think it is. It's a setting when it's going to engage. So as we turn this blue knob, slider.
So it's really a lever. We like that. Lever.
Yeah, totally a lever.
Yeah. So you can see that there's a yellow below the threshold and blue above the threshold. So you can see visually when the signal is in a good spot. So if somebody's talking from the stage and their signal when they're speaking is above that threshold, pretty much all the time, then you know that's a pretty good starting point. For me, it's usually around 50 to 45, minus 50 to minus 45, depending on the volume of the speaker.
Okay, now the range, this is what makes this really, really effective. So let's talk about how that range works and kind of where we've found out that it's in a happy place.
Yeah, so it's just a number of how much signal is going to be reduced. So at minus 8 there, when that signal crosses the left side of our blue lever, it's going to turn that signal down 8 dB.
So when it's below the threshold, it attenuates it 8 dB.
Exactly.
Okay, so if I'm talking again in the PA, as soon as I'm silent, it all just goes away.
Yep, and you can see that with the red indicator now on the red lever on the bottom. To the right, is when that's lit up, you're now in reduction by 8 dB.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's great.
So it's like it just turns the mic down to get rid of any potential feedback by that number of decibels. That's great. Now what about the top? Do you guys use slow, medium, or fast for your release times?
Man, I know most of the time when I use this, if it's on a headset mic, it's a slow. It feels like if I do a slow release, it becomes transparent.
It's a little smoother.
But like on a vocal mic, which I've used on vocals or someone who's speaking, maybe an announce mic or something, medium or fast may need to be what I'm using, especially if it's a soft talker and they've got the mic away from their mouth. Fast helps me get in and out of those syllables and consonants a little faster, feels a little better. I think the fluid part of it that I think we all agree on is the slow setting.
So we're talking about this in the context of a headset mic or a lav mic, but I know some people use them on toms, they'll use them on kick drum, they'll use them on other things where you'd almost treat it a little bit like an expander gate, but it's not a gate, but the application is kind of the same.
Yep, there's even a ducker at the bottom. You could experiment with that and use it like you would a traditional ducker, and it's got a delay setting, and then a side chain on the bottom. Right now, we're on internal, so we're cueing off of ourself, but if you wanted to side chain something external off of this and use it as a expand only when something else triggered it, you could do that, and you could even set it to be frequency dependent within the internal or external also.
So that external sidechain, that could be great if you have multiple people talking in close proximity to each other with like 2 lapel mics or 2 headset mics. Key off of the other one, so that immediately helps clean up some of your phase problems and stuff by having mics too close together.
Absolutely.
Outstanding.
Thanks so much for watching. We really hope you liked it. Now, Lee, you kids and all your social medias.
We have those.
I'm not sure how all that works, so tell everybody what to do.
They already know.
Follow us there. Okay.